UK. So maybe some of you know very well, like maybe Quỳnh, as I guess. Quỳnh is a graduate a student from VNUK. So she planned to join MA TESOL with NTU. So otherwise, some of you might not know much about us. Despite that, however, I guess some of you did face-to-face meet with Miss Cook and Mr. Steve. So you know a bit about us. So VNUK basically is a project between two governments, Vietnam and UK. As you know, it's the same as the Vietnam Germany, Vietnam France, and Vietnam Japan University. So the objective of this project is that the government, the state, could to improve the quality of the university, quality and capability of the university in Vietnam. And that's why we one of four, the government have worked with 4 countries to set up 4 university. And VNUK in the center of Vietnam, VNUK become a member of University of Da Nang. And we have 5 years old, we are 5 years old now. Up to now, to be honest, we only have delivered 5 undergraduate programs. But this MA TESOL is the first ever the collaborating program with a UK partner to deliver a master program. And that's why we are so excited to offer the first this master program for Central Vietnam and also for Vietnam. And I would like to share with you why VNUK and NTU. This is story back to 3 years ago. When one of my old students, my former student, Wong and she did join MA TESOL, and she's so excited about what what she learned from Nottingham Trent University and from MA TESOL program. She loved so much Nottingham City, Nottingham Trent University, and she loved very much her lecturers and her friends around. When she joined MA TESOL in Nottingham, she come back to me and share with me the idea of working with NTU to deliver this program together between 2 university. And you know, in that year, I can't wait. And in a meeting, why I have a meeting in London, I didn't have much time, but I did try to get to Nottingham to see the university, to meet the team, to see their passion. And just very in quick meeting, about 13 or half an hour, right, Emmy? 30 minutes, yeah. So, and only 30 minutes, but I see the passion and the talents and the commitment of the team. And I can't wait when get back to Vietnam. I can't wait to work with Nottingham Trent to deliver this program. And from that point, I strongly believe that if VNUK work with Nottingham to deliver MA TESOL, Vietnamese people, the Vietnamese English teacher, and at the end, by the end, the Vietnamese children, Vietnamese adults will benefit a lot from this program. Given the fact that, I would like to share with you briefly, given the fact that the government, the university, the school, and the English teacher, and even the parents, they try a lot to support the children and support the learners to study English. But I did see some improvement over last 10 years. But to be honest, it's too slow compared with what we can do. I can see the potential. I can see the ability of Vietnamese children. I can see the capability of Vietnamese children. But unfortunately, we didn't try our best, and we don't have enough I can say like we need to do more for them. And I don't think we can, I also don't think that we can wait for the government or wait for MOED. They are doing their job, but we need to do our job by our own way. It's come from us and come from you. Come from us by try our best, building both team and prepare the very excellent programs, prepare the great facility, great conditions for you to learn. And it comes from you. Don't think too much. Don't hesitate. Just do. Just go and study and take opportunity to grow. I can see how much Quỳnh Anh changed where after a year she go with MA TESOL in Nottingham. Now after 1 year come back from Nottingham Trent University from MA TESOL, she has so much confidence. And just talk to her. You can see her passion, her inspiration, her English capability, and her passion in teaching English. And I think when you are all here, you are all change makers. I have strong belief so. And what we can do from both sides, I believe strong. I love NTU team so much. And I haven't shared with Andrew yet, but I plan after today. I suggest to work with you even another program, Master in Data Science. I will share with you that later. But this is to say that we have a strong belief and strong trust, and we love to work with you so much. And both team, NTU and VNUK, we are here to support you, to build your success, to partner with you for your growth. So that's all to share with you that I love education very much. And I, Steve and Cook, from our side, not for sure, Nottingham Trent University and the team, MA TESOL team are excellent team. But we are here try our best to support you when you are here. I am here to promise that we will try our best to support you. And don't hesitate to contact us if you have any question and any concern about the program, any concern about the transferring process, or any concern about procedures, any concern about the content of the program. So last but not least, the world is changing so much now because of COVID-19. We know that there's a lot of challenges ahead, and you are so worried that if you can go to the UK in spring, but don't think too much. We are here, and the lock have a key to open, and we are together with you to open the lock if there's any. Okay, so I think I talked too much, and just share with you the passion, and I leave time for Steve and NTU. Wish you best of luck and enjoy the meeting today. Okay, thank you, Steve.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Hung. Yeah, we really appreciate your time, right? So, hold on one second, let me maximize again. Before I turn it on to the next person, I've been in Vietnam for 7 years teaching English, and Vietnamese students are amazing. It is an absolute honor to teach and to be part of the classroom, okay? But we have a bigger project. Vietnam and the transformation of education and learning in the classroom. And I'm sure that's what Dr. Hung was talking about. Her and I have formed a partnership because we share the same vision, right? To make a difference, to be a difference in the classroom. And I know this group from NTU, okay? I've talked with them. Amazing, they're amazing people, and they can help us transform. They can help us be better teachers, and help us be successful in lifting up Vietnam, right? And lifting up Vietnam and making a difference here in Vietnam, Okay. Our next speaker is from NTU. His name is Mr. Andrew Plant, and he is the international manager at Nottingham Trent University. Andrew deals with universities globally and has a lot of knowledge and a lot of information that can be helpful to all of us. Okay. So Andrew, you're on, please.
Thank you very much, Steve. And hi, everyone. Welcome to our live event. I hope you're all okay today. As Steve said, my job is to make partnerships around the world, and I've worked at NTU for about 9 years doing that, and some other universities in the UK as well. And I've helped thousands of students achieve their goals of coming to the UK and studying. And I hope to give you some useful information today about NTU and about Nottingham as well as a city. And hopefully we can welcome some of you, if not all of you, to Nottingham in the future. So just let me work the technology a second and I'll get my presentation up. And hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you first about Nottingham Trent. That little thing that's popped up there, a little duck, I know that all of you are interested in language, and that says, "A up, me duck." And that's how people say hello in Nottingham. It's a colloquialism, but if you go to Nottingham and you greet people in the street, you can say, "A up, me duck," and it means, "Hello, my friend." So people call each other duck as a way of saying friend in Nottingham. So if you take nothing else away from this presentation, now you know how to say hello in Nottingham. Okay, so our partnership with VNUK starts this year, and we've been working on it for a couple of years. And the way that it works is it is our MA, our Masters in TESOL program that we certify. And we're working with VNUK in partnership to deliver half of it in Da Nang, half of it in NTU in the UK with a jointly supervised dissertation. So you get the best of both worlds. You get to start your studies in Vietnam, you do half of your studies in the UK, and you finish off and get your TESOL Masters from NTU. Nottingham Trent has gone through a really unprecedented period of growth recently, and also of achieving awards. We've put in a strategy over the last few years that's really worked in terms of supporting students, in terms of technology, in terms of investing in our campuses and our facilities, which has meant that in the last 3 years, in 2017, 2018 and 2019, we've won these very serious awards, which are awarded by newspapers in the UK. And you can see that we were University of the Year in 2017. We were the Modern University of the Year in 2018, and we were the University of the Year again in 2019. That's because we have very high student satisfaction. Our students are very happy with what they're being taught, where they're being taught. So here are some more badges that give you some of the student feedback. 93% of our students would recommend us, and we have the 4th highest score for student feedback in the UK. That's because we have outstanding teaching. We are what's known as a teaching intensive university. We have some very good research as well, but we focus very much on teaching students. And we're a very large university. We're over 30,000 students. We're the 7th largest university in the UK. But what we've managed to do is personalize the journey of each student by using technology and by using our knowledge of teaching to be able to give students a distinctive and individual pathway during their studies. So this TEF gold, this is the Teaching Excellence Framework. You can be awarded gold, silver or bronze, and we were awarded gold, which tells you that the teaching at NTU is very strong. So in terms of translating that to rankings, there are about 130 universities in the UK, and at the moment we're ranked 12th, which is our highest ever ranking. There are different rankings as well, so you can see that we're also ranked 37th and 38th, depending on the ranking in the UK. But that translation is our highest ever ranking, and we've gradually over the last few years climbed up those rankings because of the strategy that we've put in place to help students. Now, in terms of Nottingham, I don't know if any of you have been to the UK, but Nottingham is a medium-sized city in the middle of England. And we're about 2 hours from London. I think the fastest train is about 1 hour and 45 from London. Very close to Birmingham Airport as well. So if you wanted to fly in, there's several options that you could fly to Manchester or Birmingham or London. We offer pickup service from London as well. If you wanted to fly into Heathrow, which I think is probably the most convenient for most of you. Nottingham is a city that's full of history. It started as a Viking settlement many, many years ago, and the Viking was called Snot. So Snottingham basically means Snot settlement, and then that turned into a larger settlement and a city, and then the UK went through the Industrial Revolution a couple of 100 years ago, and Nottingham made textiles and became very rich, a very rich city through making textiles, and grew into the city that it is today. And now it's very much known for being a student city. About 15% of the population are students. So you really notice when the students aren't in the city over the summer periods and during holiday periods. But it's also very well known for being quite young, and for therefore being quite cool and trendy. So a lot of fashion is known about in Nottingham, and also our history and our heritage through the myth of Robin Hood, and there's a statue of Robin Hood you can see there, and also football and sports, and that's a very famous football manager from the UK. So now I'll talk to you a little bit about the city campus and the city as well. We have 3 campuses, and the main campus, which holds about 16,000 or 17,000 students, is right in the middle of the city. So you can walk pretty much everywhere that you need to within the city centre from there, including most accommodation. And that includes the school that you'll be studying, which is the School of Arts and Humanities. But you can see all the other schools there that share the city campus. And that is our Arkwright building that you can see there, built in the 1860s. And I'm lucky enough to have my office in that building. So here's some more pictures of the city, and now I'll show you a quick video which just gives you an idea, maybe a feel of what the city of Nottingham is like. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a picture of what Nottingham's like. And I guess if you are coming to the UK just perhaps for 6 months, it's a small enough city that you're not going to get consumed by it and sort of lost and find it hard to navigate. If you live in these halls, which is what we'd recommend, Sandby halls, you could come for half a year and stay in these halls. They're right on the campus in the middle of the city, and you can walk everywhere from there. So these are the typical student room that you could expect to come into. And if you're joining us in January next year, then that's the price that you would pay for staying in those halls. There are also private options. So if you wanted as a group perhaps to find a shared house, you can find a private house and each have a room within that house as well. If you do join the accommodation in Nottingham, Trent University, you won't share a room. So everybody has their own room. And most students also have their own bathroom as well. And then you typically have a shared space, which would be a kitchen and a lounge area. So NTU, because we have all of these students, we're very, very active in activities outside of your studies. We have a students' union, and that is run by the students, for the students. The students elect the representatives who run that. And a very big part of that is to organise societies. Now, those can be cultural societies, they can be sporting societies, they can be societies for fun. And if there's something that you're particularly interested in, you can even start a society as well. There are societies about knitting, there are societies about barbecues, but there are also very serious societies about politics, for example. And there is, of course, a Vietnamese society, student society. Again, we have lots and lots of sports facilities. On one of our campuses, the Clifton campus, we have all of our sports fields, and you can pretty much take every sport that you can think of at NTU to keep you active, and maybe try something new as well. As I talked about with our strategy in supporting students, we have academic support, financial support, international student support, dedicated team to help our international students, individual support and counselling and health and well-being. And we also have a program in place called Success for All. And that is the personalisation that I was talking about, where we have a student dashboard and we can see how students are interacting with the university, and we can try and help students on their own individual journey. So we hope to support students as best as we can. One of the things we're known for is our employability record. It's very high. And that is because we work with companies on developing our courses, but also whilst our students are on their courses. A lot of our students who take undergraduate degrees will take a placement year, and we have some of the highest numbers of students taking placement years in the UK. That helps them to understand how to work and how their degree relates to the workplace, and it makes them more mature. They tend to come back and get better degrees and then get better jobs. This has built up a network between NTU and around 6,000 employers. And I know that the TESOL team, Amy and Sam, who I'll introduce in a moment, they will tell you about how during the TESOL program you also get interaction with teaching as well. We are a global university. We have students and staff from over 150 countries. We were recently voted the #1 university in the UK by international students, so the international students themselves were voting. And there's lots of things that you can get involved with, including our Global Week, and we also have a Global Lounge, which talks about the opportunities around the world and gives people an opportunity to meet people from around the world and share culture and understanding. That includes things like a language cafe, and also just games nights and cultural lunches, which are free, so you can go and try food from around the world every Thursday lunchtime. In terms of the cost of the program, the fee whilst you're in Vietnam with VNUK would be £1,900, and the fee whilst you're in the UK is £6,000. As I mentioned, the accommodation to stay for 6 months in the UK is around £3,000. You'd need about £1,100 per month to live in the UK, and that's not just survive, that means you can actually live. It's far cheaper to live in Nottingham than it is to live in other cities in the UK like London. It's about half price. So that's the reason why many of our students, not just international students, but many of our home students come to study in Nottingham. In terms of visas, we are recommending at the moment that you apply for a Tier 4 visa. This is a student study visa, and it allows you to take work whilst you're in the UK as well. So whilst you're studying, you can take 20 hours of work, paid work, in the UK during term time, and then in the holiday periods you can take full-time work, which is 40 hours per week, which allows you to get experience and also to earn some money if you want to. That's it from me. If you want to just jot down that email address, ntuglobal@ntu.ac.uk, you can contact us anytime and ask us anything you like about NTU and about the program, of course, and we can connect you with whoever you'd like within our organisation. So now I'm going to pass you over to two of my colleagues. That's Amy Wong and Sam Barkley. Amy's going to talk first, and she is responsible for our MA TESOL program, and she's going to tell you all about the program itself. So over to you, Amy. Amy, you're muted.
you. Thank you, Andrew, for such a thorough introduction to Nottingham. And like Andrew said, I'm in charge of the MA TESOL. My name is Amy Wong. I'm the course leader for our MA TESOL. So like what Dr. Fung said, that we actually met 3 years ago in a very small office in Nottingham, at Nottingham Trent University, in my old boss's office. And Dr. Fung came to us and said, Amy, we really want to form the partnership with you. And she only spent 5 minutes to persuade us about VNUK, how good VNUK is, how much she believes in education. And immediately we had a great match, and we said, okay, this is the way to go, although we don't know how long it might take us to really nurture and to develop this partnership. So we went through validation, and finally, we are really happy that we reached this stage. And in that meeting, something really came up, is what we believe in education. We both believe in education, and we, from both sides, we really want to make a difference in education. And we have the passion, how education can really make a real difference to our world. So that is where we were 3 years ago. And we are really excited that today everything has grown, and we can welcome you to join us to share what we believe and what we do in the MA TESOL. So first of all, when you start to think of going to a new city, you might be thinking, oh, what the city will be like, what the teachers will be like, what the place will be like. So I'm very happy to introduce this building to you. This is where our course is based in. It has a nickname, some of our students actually call it a Harry Potter building, because the building is quite complicated inside, and it's very easy to get lost in the building too. But it's a very old building, and we have our own computers. Students quite often came to this nice building and chat with their friends, socialize, meet their lecturers, tutors, and they do a lot of work in this building. So we do have our very own space, and we want to create a space where students can meet each other, we can bump into each other, we can have a chat, we can share the situations of our life, and we can then joke, and we can meet the challenges together. So then you might be wondering also, how can I what is our entry requirement, and how can I get into the study with VNUK and NTU if you want to? Our minimum language requirement is IELTS 6.5. So if you have good language level, then you are the one who has the potential to join us. And if you have a good degree, a UK equivalent of 2 degree, you are more than welcome to join us. And we accept students from any subjects. So even if you did a degree in fashion, in international relations, and we will start to train students from the very basic level, and then we push them. We then develop and try to assist them and support them as much as we can to the master's level. So even if you have the language level of 6.5, please don't stop learning, because with a master's degree in the UK English speaking environment, you have to really keep learning. And even if you have IELTS 8, please don't stop learning. There are always new things and new areas for you to learn in terms of language, in terms of the culture, in terms of knowledge, in terms of the skill. So the minimum requirement is IELTS 6.5. And if you have already IELTS 0.5, then you are in a very good position to join us. But as I said, please don't stop learning. I'm very happy that we can share our vision. We are a group of lecturers who are passionate about teaching, who are passionate about students learning, and also we are passionate about education. We want to make a difference in students' life. We want to help the students to ignite, to motivate them to think about the education they can develop, they can think of, and then bring in their knowledge and skills back to their home country or go to other parts of the world and make a difference. So making a difference is what we believe. And we start with very modest, with giving students a lot of support. And that's what we believe the start point of education is: a lot of care, a lot of support. So in that, then we look at each student, we look at their unique qualities, and we look at their potential. And then we give them a lot of support, a lot of care, and then help them to nurture, to explore not just what academically they are good at academically, but what they are good at personally. So we insist on having a small group of students so that we can get to know our students and provide the support and care that they need to grow. So another aspect of our vision is we want students to be highly competent English language professionals. Although you can see that 1 year or 6 months is actually really quite limited of what we can do, but what we want to do is to develop that sort of learning spirit. And quite often I tell our students that as a good language teacher, you need to keep learning for the rest of your life. So you come to learn how to learn, and then you go back and you keep learning and keep to be a better teacher. So quite often we tell our students, you need to be better teachers than us, because in that way, that's how the world will grow, and that's how the world will become a better world. And so some of our students said, Amy and Sam, we actually spend a lot of time thinking, how can we become better teachers than you? Because in a way, that's a big compliment. In a way, that's quite not easy, but that's the way how the world will grow. That's the way how the world will develop. So we also offer and try to offer an multicultural classrooms. And we encourage students to get to know each other from different cultural contexts, because what I found that the strengths of UK education is that you have the opportunity to meet people from different cultural backgrounds, not just in the classroom, but also outside the classrooms. And you meet the people, you make friends, like one of our alumni who is also here with us today, called Luna. And Luna made a very good friend with TUYòng. And TUYòng is actually from Congo. And at first, they are from very different cultural background, and they think quite differently. They started to make friends. They formed really great friendship. They started to notice the difference in terms of their belief. Then they had time to explore each other's cultural beliefs. And then they started to reflect on what they believe. And then they learn from each other. And we also have students who came from Vietnam, and her best friend was from France. And our French student started to use chopsticks every time, and probably better than us. And that is the sort of beautiful stories that we love to see in our course for students to get to know each other, to facilitate not just to be great English language teachers, but also to be able to communicate with a group of people from different parts of the world, and to really appreciate that we live in one world, in one planet, and we are not separated. We are there to help each other to facilitate that sort of understanding. So it's a very ambitious vision, and we are trying our best to achieve that sort of vision as much as we can through a lot of hard work by our colleagues and our team. And so there are some special features. Sam and Luna. Sam is our lecturer who will talk more about it, how we deliver later. But one of the very important part of our MA TESOL, which is very unique, it takes a lot of time and effort for us to be able to do this, which is we provide students the real language teaching opportunities. So we give students real language learners. We recruit adult learners from Nottingham areas who are probably less privileged in the society, and who might not actually have the opportunity to get access to education. So we offer them free English language classes, and the learners free English language learning opportunities, but we give our students the opportunity to do language teaching. We give them a lot of support. We assist them to plan their sessions, and then after they do the teaching, especially we will then observe their teaching, give them the feedback, and then we will then have a feedback session for them to reflect. Some people are slightly worried that this might be quite stressful, but we try to form that sort of very supportive environment so that we are there to help them to improve their teaching. And this is our unique feature, and not many universities in the UK will be able to do that. As I mentioned, it's very time consuming. It takes a lot of time to organize it. Quite often I use a metaphor, like if you want to train really good dancers, you can't train them without giving them the platform, the stage. And equally, if we want to train or educate really good language teachers, we cannot achieve that without giving them a real language classrooms. So that's why although it's very difficult to arrange it, and we have an excellent admin team to support us, and they really have that sort of can-do culture. And although it's challenging, but we try to achieve that as much as we can. Like what we mentioned, the reason why we really work really well with the VNUK team is that we all believe in support. We believe that by giving our students a lot of support, then they can grow. And we also believe by giving them a lot of care, encouragement, they can grow. So we focus both on the practical side, but we also focus on the theoretical knowledge and skills, especially their research skills. Because as I said, don't stop learning if you want to be a really good language teacher. And a very important type of skill to have is the research skills. Just be curious about what would be the sort of most latest development in the world. You need really good research skills. You need the curiosity. So our students naturally, we nurture them and train them to have these research skills that they can use for the rest of their life. So we nurture them. We have a module called Research Methods, and we introduce them to different research skills, research methods areas. And so some of our students found that they are really passionate, not just to be language teachers, they want to be a great researchers, and we encourage that as well. So some of our students actually won for scholarship to do their PhD. And also one of our Luna, who's here, called Luna. She is one of our best students, and she is also thinking of doing a PhD study after our MA. So Luna, can I invite you to join me to talk a little bit more about your experience here, especially in terms of teaching practice that you experienced, and also your why do you want to do a PhD after the MA TESOL? Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. For the teaching practice experience, I think teaching practice is a really great way for you to practice your teaching with real students, because throughout the year you will learn different types of theories and different approaches to learning and teaching, and this is time for you to apply these things in reality with real students, and you can see which approach is the most suitable one for you and also for your student. So I think personal experience is like the best. Also, you have the teacher helping along the way with planning and time management. I remember Amy had like a paper. She wrote 5 minutes left on the paper, and she would hold it up at the end of the lesson. I was really nervous. I didn't know what to do at that time. But then at the end, I was like, okay, I'm running out of time. What I need to do? I need to improvise. So you see, I have developed and make progress throughout the course. When I see improvising is really important for teacher also. And in addition, I also have feedback from the teacher and from my friends, where after all our lessons, we can reflect ourselves and discuss way to solve the problem so that we can have a better lessons in the future. So yeah, I really love my teaching practice experience. For the PhD, well, I was thinking of doing a PhD after the MA, because, well, at first I didn't intend to do so, but my Amy introduced me. I was actually spending this time doing research, and apart from doing some teaching online, I also doing my proposal and try to working on it. Thank you, Amy.
Excellent, Luna. Thank you. I'm very glad that we could persuade you to do the PhD. And I'm also very happy to know that you actually learn from actual teaching and develop into a great teacher. And you would, and you also grow in our course. So thank you very much, Luna. We will invite you back to share more stories with us later. Thank you. Talking about how we teach and how we support our students to do the dissertations, I would like to introduce a member in our team who's called Sam. Sam is our lecturer, and he is going to tell you a little bit more about how we support students, what sort of methods that we use in the classrooms, etc. Okay, Sam?
Right, yeah, thank you. Would you mind putting the slides back up, Amy?
Yeah, sure.
And while you're doing that, just let me introduce myself to everyone. As Amy mentioned, my name is Sam. I'm a senior lecturer in English language teaching. And like Amy, I'm also a practicing language teacher. And this is one of the other unique features of the MA at Nottingham Trent. So not only are all the staff widely read and experienced in English language teaching, but we're also currently working in the field of ELT as well. And so this means that I work on the Masters, of course, and I teach on our Masters in TESOL program. But in addition, I'm also in a language classroom teaching language learners. And that really gives me an interesting perspective. It gives us all an interesting perspective on language teaching. So Amy, I don't know before I talk about the dissertation, do you want to talk about how this fits into the wider program, do you think?
Thank you very much, Sam. You very well spotted that I actually missed out 2 slides. So I would like to, I thought I was hoping to use it as a test to see if everybody will ask me this question later. So well spotted. Thank you, Sam. So I will really tell you very briefly what you will be learning if you decide to come to the MA TESOL course. The first module you will be taking is called Exploring Language Learning and Teaching. And this is what we call it a long fat year-long module. So you will start to take the module in VNUK, and in January you will come to join us. So this is the module you will be learning how learners will learn, and also the different methods and different that you can, also the teaching practice that you will be doing in this module. The second module you will be taking is called Describing English Language. As a English language teacher, you need to have a lot of knowledge about English language, not just the grammar, the sound, but also how language is actually used in the actual real context. So this is the module that we will help you to gain that knowledge and skills. The third module that you will start again in VNUK and then come to join us in January will be materials and assessment. So as a language teacher, English language teacher, you will need to learn how to develop materials, how to adapt the textbooks, and also how to develop assessment. So this will be the module that you will learn that. As I mentioned before, you also need to learn how to do research. And we use this module for several different reasons. One is to nurture you to be a great researcher. Another is to train you to be able to progress, to do a big piece of work, which is called dissertation. And Sam will talk a little bit more about that. We also offer a wide range of option modules, although I have to say that we only run about 3 to 4 the most popular option modules each year, because it's impossible for us to run all the option modules. And the sort of popular modules that we run each year would be blended learning and co, teacher education, teaching English to young learners, and intercultural communication, and most important of all, the brand new option module called vocabulary, which is Sam's module. And this module, it has been very successful, and a lot of students then chose their research dissertation area topics in this area as well. So Sam, I can't advertise more in terms of vocabulary. So this is a strong hint. If you are interested in any of these areas, especially vocabulary, you are very welcome to come to Nottingham Trent University MA TESOL and VNUK MA TESOL course.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Amy. That's really great. And thank you for the plug as well for my vocabulary module. I like to think it's really interesting, and I hope the students do as well. So could you put, yeah, that's great. Thanks for that slide, Amy. That's really great. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the dissertation that you do, and this is the final piece of work that you'll have to do on the MA. So it lasts about 3 to 4 months, but in reality, our students will be thinking about it for maybe 5 or 6 months. You can see a number on the screen here, 15,000. This is 15,000 words, and that's a really scary number. I know, it's a very long piece of work, and it's a very involved piece of work. But whereas across the MA, you're going to be developing a very broad range of knowledge, the dissertation is the opportunity to focus in one specific area and to gain expertise in that one specific area. And so we ask our students to think about their potential dissertation topics really from day one. So after they join the course, we ask them to start thinking about the areas in which they're interested. Some of our students even come to the course already interested in a specific area, and we're going to hear Luna talk about her dissertation in a second, and she was one of those students. There is a free choice of topic, which means that you can really explore any topic that you're interested in, as long as it relates to language teaching or language development. And even though the dissertation is, it's a big piece of work, it's a serious piece of work, probably it's the most involved piece of academic work you will have done in your life, there is a great deal of support. The dissertation is embedded in the research methods module, and that means that you'll have advice from your research methods teachers. In addition, you'll also work very closely with a supervisor who will help you develop your ideas, who will help you develop your research plan, who will help you develop your methodology and your analysis. And so they will really support you on your journey to producing this piece of work. Luna, maybe you could come in here and talk a little bit about your experience of the dissertation.
Thank you, Sam. So for my dissertation, I worked on the language assessment, especially speaking assessment, because I have always been interested in this area before. So this way you can dig deeper into the area you're particularly interested in. So the ideas of the dissertation can start earlier, but the actual time you have to do it is around 3 months, as Sam has said before, with 15,000 words. I was really excited for every meeting I have with Sam. Sam is my supervisor, because he is very enthusiastic and very helpful to keep going with my work, because you have a short period of time and then you have to write 15,000 words. You would feel hard sometimes, but then you get help from your mentor and you also have help from your friends. I actually have a lot of support and ideas from my friends because they also have lots of experiences. I think it's hard, but then it's good. Challenging is good because it helps you to grow as a researcher, and I'm really grateful for that. I can see myself develop greatly from the dissertation. When I finish it, I feel pretty proud of myself for achieving something. You might felt overwhelming sometimes, but then you just have to know that you're not on your own on this. You have help from everyone, and also the library have a wide range of books for referencing, and I also get help from the library staff for analyzing my data. So I think you're going to make it if you do your dissertation. So don't have to worry about that.
That's great, Luna. Thanks so much. And we were all very proud of the piece of work you produced. It was a really excellent dissertation. So Amy, would you mind putting up the next slide?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Greg. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about our approach to teaching and the way that we run our classes. So as I've mentioned, we are all experienced language teachers, and we're also all practicing language teachers. Just speaking for myself, I can draw on experience having taught in China, in Japan, in the USA, in Austria, obviously in the UK, and in Tanzania. And so that background of teaching experience really informs what I do, and that's kind of more broadly the case across the MA team as well. And that means that we believe fundamentally that students are at the centre of our teaching. So you might have this image of academia as there being a distance between the lecturers and the students. And as much as possible, we try and close that distance. In fact, one of the metaphors that we work with at NTU is that we're all on the same road, that the students are on a path, and also the lecturers are on the same path. Now, the lecturers might just be a little bit ahead of the learners, but we're trying to help you, we're trying to facilitate your journey down that path as quickly as possible. And so that's one of the reasons why we put you at the centre of everything we do. And this means that our classes would not be very cold. It wouldn't be one person, the lecturer at the front and the students sitting in rows and just listening for 1 or 2 hours. Our classes are really interactive. So this means there's lots of discussion. So as Amy mentioned before, we're interested in not just developing theoretical knowledge, we're also interested in developing procedural knowledge. And this means we're interested we're asking you to apply the theory and the theoretical principles that we introduce. So So our classes tend to have a lot of discussion. They also tend to have a lot of group work. Our students will almost in every class be working together in groups. They might be working on a task that we give them to really deepen their understanding of a certain idea. In addition, we ask our students to give presentations as well. Some of these presentations are in a group, and sometimes the presentations are just to a small group of other students. At other times, the presentations are in front of the whole class. But again, here we're trying to support your growth in terms of knowledge about ELT, but we're also trying to develop your confidence and your public speaking. So from that perspective, our classes and our course is really student-centered. And one of the other fundamental beliefs that we all have is that each individual student is important. And this means we don't look at our students as one big cohort, but we try and look at each individual student and meet their specific needs. And the way we do this is through tutorials. We have quite a lot of tutorials, both what we call pastoral tutorials, which is where we might talk about any issues that you're having, adapting to life in the UK or with the course. But we also have tutorials that relate to course content. So students can ask us any questions about a session or ask us any questions about an assignment. And then we're more than happy to sit down with those students and talk through those issues. So as I said, that means that there's extra help when needed. So I wonder if, Luna, could you jump in here and maybe talk a bit about your experience of being in the MA TESOL class and what you observed and how it felt?
Thank you, Sam. I would say that the class, as Sam has said before, the class, we have a small classroom. So I think it's an advantage because small classroom meaning you have a close relationship with the teachers. The teacher know you very well. I feel like we have like a big family. We can discuss a lot of things in the class. And my teachers are very knowledgeable. To be honest, I learned a lot from them and still learning now. The teachers are always there for us, and it's really easy to get in touch. Normally when I was in my university in Vietnam, when I want to get in touch with my supervisor, I send an email and have to wait for a really long time to get a feedback and response. And it's different here. I got as fast as they can, although I know that they were really busy, but they're always there for us. They help us with academic, obviously, but still also with mental health. Amy helped me a lot with how to deal with stress and insecurity during both studying and living here. So I'm really grateful for that.
That's great. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Luna. So I think there's one more slide that we have. Thankfully it's lots of lovely pictures of our students. And if you can make it bigger, Amy, we can maybe play the game of Spot Luna. Spot Luna and Spot Amy. I think Amy is in all of these photos somewhere.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, I am actually in every photo because I had the privilege to choose all the photos. And I would like to mention, especially, we like to see students blossoming, and especially on the graduation day, you can see how happy they are. And we are also in the park doing one of the sessions where we try to challenge the four-wall classrooms, and we brought in some food and had a picnic session. But at the same time, we think of the classroom setting, the classroom context. And Luna is in one of the photos. Can you spot Luna? In one of the photos, probably we can't see her.
Just there, she's in that bottom right one, isn't she? Yeah, in the middle of the bottom right.
Yeah. You can see how happy Luna was on the graduation day. Yeah. So maybe if you have any questions to ask us, we will have a Q&A session. But after us, I think she is also going to share with us her experience of studying at NTU. She did one of the degrees at NTU, and she is very knowledgeable about Nottingham as a city. Something that we did mention is that students did have a great, very colorful life in Nottingham, and she is going to take us through that journey of her year at Nottingham. Thank you, Chi.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for the very helpful information that you gave to the student and parents. So at my part, I will share about my story, but as talked before that, I will try to make it very brief and in Vietnamese, so maybe the student can, you know, get the feeling about how study at NTU and also living in the Nottingham. So I will share my PowerPoint here, and we'll start doing it in Vietnamese. So I really hope that you guys can bear me in just like a few minutes talking about my own experience. So everyone see the slide, right? Xin chào các bạn sinh viên đang có dự định là theo học khóa MA TESOL tại VNUK và tại Nottingham Trent University. Thì chị tên là Chi Nguyễn. Hiện tại chị đang là Việt Nam Officer tại NTU và chị base ở thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Ngoài ra thì còn có chị Dương Quách. Nếu như mà các bạn có theo dõi trên website của trường thì sẽ thấy là hình của chị và hình chị Dương Quách. Thì chị Dương Quách cũng hiện tại cũng là Việt Nam Officer, nhưng mà chị Dương thì base ở Hà Nội. Tuy nhiên ngày hôm nay thì chị sẽ có vinh dự là chia sẻ về cái cuộc sống của chị tại thành phố Nottingham. Tại vì chị thì cũng tốt nghiệp cách đây 2 năm thôi, thì chị sẽ cũng đi rất là nhanh thôi. Chị cũng xin giới thiệu là chị đã học khóa là về branding and advertising. Thì có thể là các bạn sẽ thấy là cũng không giống như khóa MA TESOL mà các bạn đang học, nhưng mà về cuộc sống trải nghiệm sinh viên ở Nottingham thì chị cảm thấy là hoàn toàn mình có thể sharing được cho các bạn để các bạn có thể cảm nhận được phần nào cái cuộc sống tại Nottingham. Thì nói về background thì trước đây là chị đã từng học đại học về ngành finance, và sau đó thì có 2 năm kinh nghiệm ở ngành nhân sự. Tuy nhiên thì khi mà trong quá trình đi học và đi làm thì chị cảm thấy là đó vẫn chưa thực sự là cái passion cũng như là cái mong muốn thực sự của mình. Chính vì vậy mà khi mà chị dừng lại và chị suy nghĩ là đã đến lúc là mình phải theo đuổi những cái gì mà mình đam mê, thì chị phát hiện ra đó là cái sự yêu thích của marketing của chị nó đã được nuôi dưỡng từ rất là nhiều năm rồi, và chị quyết định là dừng lại và đi học về thạc sĩ marketing tại trường Nottingham Trent University. Thì ở đây thì chị cũng sẽ nói đó là chính NTU là nơi mà đã ươm mầm cái giấc mơ cũng như là nuôi dưỡng cái ước mơ và cái sự yêu mến của chị cho ngành marketing, và nó cũng là một nơi mà đã thay đổi cuộc đời chị rất là nhiều. Nói như là cô Amy cũng nói với lại đã chia sẻ là bạn Luna cũng đã cảm thấy trở nên là confidence hơn, tự tin hơn và đã thay đổi rất là nhiều sau khóa học. Thì bản thân chị cũng là như vậy. Thì sau khi mà học tại trường thì chị có kinh nghiệm làm PR và Marketing Assistant tại TRspodo, và sau đó thì 1 năm sau đó thì đã có rất là vinh dự là được NTU mời về là Việt Nam Officer. Và ngay từ hôm nay thì chị đã được chia sẻ với các bạn với cương vị là một nhân viên của trường. Thì chị cũng đến cái slide tiếp theo, chị cũng chỉ xin chia sẻ một cái câu chuyện khá là thú vị khi mà chị bắt đầu học tại trường Nottingham Trent University. Đó là vào chuyến đi chơi Tonbridge thì đã có một cái trò chơi là các bạn sẽ được tham dự một cái trò chơi gọi là high drop. Thì các bạn sẽ phải đi trên những cái chiếc dây như thế này, tất nhiên là sẽ có những cái đồ bảo hộ và với độ cao là 8 mét. Thì khi đó chị rất là thích những cái trò chơi mạo hiểm như thế này và chị đã tham gia rất nhiệt tình. Tuy nhiên thì đến khi lúc cuối thì cái người mà hướng dẫn mình chơi những trò chơi này ấy, thì họ mới hỏi là vậy thì do you want to just like to close your eye when you do it? Tức là mày có muốn là bịt mắt khi mà đi cái thử thách này không? Thì chị mới cảm thấy là trời ơi, sao mà đáng sợ vậy, sao mà đi được? Thì lúc đó có một người bạn là người Đài Loan, thì chị đó đã nói một câu là why not, tức là tại sao không thử. Và khi đó thì chị mới chợt nhận thấy là đúng rồi, mình đã đi một chặng đường rất là xa là 8.000 dặm từ Việt Nam qua đến UK rồi. Vậy thì tại sao người ta đã hướng dẫn cho mình, đã có người là luôn luôn theo sát mình, support cho mình và có những cái opportunity, có những cái cơ hội để mình trải nghiệm, thì tại sao mình lại không nắm lấy đó? và đó cũng chính là cái thái độ của chị đối với toàn bộ những cái hoạt động cũng như là đối với công việc học mà chị đã trực tiếp trải nghiệm tại Nottingham Trent. Tức là đối với tất cả mọi cơ hội thì chị luôn hỏi mình là why not, tức là tại sao mình không thử dấn thân và thử trải nghiệm những cái điều mới mẻ đó, cái điều mà có thể là tại Việt Nam mình đã chưa dám làm, thì tại sao qua bên UK, qua bên Nottingham thì mình hãy nhân cơ hội này để mà mình trải nghiệm bản thân mình hơn. Theo đó thì đây là những cái hình ảnh mà chị đã có những cái kỷ niệm rất là vui và trong suốt quá trình đi học, tức là với cái thái độ là chị luôn là nhiệt huyết tham gia những cái buổi thảo luận nhóm, hoặc là xung phong làm những người gọi là team leader, cũng giống như là tham gia vào các hoạt động ví dụ như là đi tham quan Old Trafford cùng với lớp chị. Thì đây là những cái hoạt động mà chị thấy là Nottingham đã cho chị rất là nhiều trải nghiệm, không giống như là những cái khóa học mà mình vẫn thường cảm nhận đó là chỉ ngồi học trên lớp đơn thuần nghe những bài giảng rất là khô khan. Thì ở Nottingham luôn có những cái hoạt động để cho sinh viên có thể trải nghiệm được cái cuộc sống cũng như là cái sự học một cách gọi là phong phú và đa dạng nhất. Ngoài ra thì đối với các hoạt động về sinh viên thì chị cũng đã tham gia khá là nhiều hoạt động, ví dụ như là Việt Nam Community thì luôn tổ chức những cái hoạt động hàng năm, thì trong đó có Afternoon Tea. Thì ngày hôm đó thì chị cũng đã đứng lên làm MC, và đó là lần đầu tiên là chị làm MC trong một chương trình, và chị thấy là cái điều đó, tức là mình đã làm được và mình cảm thấy là rất là hài lòng với mình từ bản thân đó. Ngoài ra thì còn có những hoạt động ví dụ như là Global Week như là anh Andrew đã có chia sẻ, tức là cái sự kiện mà các nước sẽ cùng chia sẻ về những cái hoạt động văn hóa. Thì đây là hoạt động rất là vui, và hàng năm mà các bạn có thể là tự hào chia sẻ những cái nét đặc trưng cũng như là những món ăn Việt Nam đối với bạn bè quốc tế, và món ăn Việt Nam thì luôn luôn được các bạn bè quốc tế đón nhận. Ngoài ra thì chị còn có rất là nhiều trải nghiệm khác, đó là ví dụ như là chị đã tham gia một tuần đi làm ở tại văn phòng IDO, tức là International Development Office. Đây cũng chính là văn phòng mà hiện tại chị đang làm việc. Ngoài ra thì chị cũng có nhận được một cái học bổng và để đi học Summer School tại Lisbon ở Portugal, thì nó kéo dài là 1 tháng, và những cái trải nghiệm này thì chị sẽ mãi không bao giờ quên trong suốt cái quá trình học sinh của mình tại Nottingham Trent University. Và đây có lẽ là cái kỷ niệm mà chị cảm thấy là đáng tự hào và cũng đáng nhớ nhất tại Nottingham Trent, đó là hội sinh viên Việt Nam của Nottingham Trent thì luôn là năng động, luôn có những cái sáng kiến, và hàng năm thì các bạn đều tạo ra những chương trình rất là thú vị để dành cho gắn kết mọi người trong cộng đồng. Thì đây là chương trình mà chị đã tham gia, đó là tên là Every Mind Make Changes. Đây là cái dự án về gây quỹ từ thiện mà tụi chị đã thực hiện một chuyến đạp xe dài 170 dặm từ Lancaster đến York để mà gây quỹ từ thiện cho các và toàn bộ cái số tiền mà tụi chị gây quỹ được thì sẽ được gửi về Việt Nam để xây dựng các khu vui chơi cho các chị em trong chương trình mùa hè xanh tại trường Đại học Kinh tế Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Thì như các bạn có thể thấy là trên màn hình là những hình ảnh mà tụi chị đã hình ảnh với lá cờ Việt Nam rất là tự hào tại điểm đích đến của cái hành trình dài 170 dặm đó. Trên đường đi thì gặp rất là được chiêm ngưỡng thiên nhiên cũng như là phong cảnh của UK rất là đẹp, và đến cuối cùng là các bạn sẽ thấy là cái hành trình của tụi chị đã đem lại cái sự một cái sự thành công nhất định, đó là đã góp phần xây dựng cái khu vui chơi trẻ em. Tiếp theo đây thì chị cũng sẽ chia sẻ về cái cuộc sống tại Nottingham. Chị là học trường Nottingham Business School thì cũng là cùng campus cùng với các bạn mà sẽ học MA TESOL là học tại City Campus, nên những chia sẻ của chị thì cũng sẽ giúp các bạn có một cái hình dung hơn về cái mức sinh hoạt cũng như là cuộc sống tại Nottingham. Thì đây là chị chia sẻ về cái phòng mà chị đã ở trong khoảng thời gian là 6 tháng tại thành phố Nottingham. Thì như ban nãy anh Andrew có chia sẻ là khi mà các bạn sẽ cần mất khoảng 3.000 bảng cho 6 tháng khi ở tại thành phố Nottingham, là đối với trường hợp là các bạn thuê những phòng mà gọi là accommodation room ở trong trường. Còn tuy nhiên bản thân chị thì chị lại lựa chọn là sẽ đi thuê phòng, tức là một người dân Nottingham thì người ta cũng có những cái dịch vụ là cho sinh viên thuê phòng, thì họ sẽ có một căn nhà và có từ 2 đến 3 phòng, thì các bạn sẽ cùng share mỗi người một phòng trong căn nhà đó. Thì với cái chị thấy là cái giá tiền cũng khá là phù hợp đối với sinh viên quốc tế. Hồi đó là chị thuê một căn phòng với giá là 330 bảng một tháng, và thêm các tiền ví dụ như là tiền bill về điện, nước, ga thì đâu đó là tầm 30 đến 40 bảng một tháng nữa. Ngoài ra thì về travel cost là nó sẽ phụ thuộc rất nhiều vào cái việc là các bạn ở xa trường học hay không. thì đối với chị hồi đó thì chị ở gần như là đối diện trường nên chị sẽ không phải tốn những tiền ví dụ như là về chi phí xe bus hoặc là tram. Nhưng mà đối với các bạn ở xa hơn thì có thể là sẽ cộng thêm một số khoản tiền về chi phí gọi là di chuyển từ nhà đến trường nữa. Còn về đồ ăn và thức uống cũng là một trong những phần mà các bạn cũng sẽ rất là quan tâm. Thì đây là chị cũng có chia sẻ là hầu hết các sinh viên Việt Nam thì các bạn thường là sẽ nấu ăn ở nhà. Một phần là tại vì các bạn cũng sẽ quen với những cái khẩu vị ăn của bên Việt Nam hơn, và cái việc nấu ở nhà thì cũng sẽ giúp cho các bạn tiết kiệm tiền rất là nhiều. Thì có một cái khảo sát chị quan sát được đó là các bạn sẽ tốn khoảng từ 25 đến 30 bảng một tuần cho cái việc là nấu ăn hàng ngày. Thì tính ra một tháng là các bạn sẽ tốn đâu đó tầm 100 đến 120 bảng một tháng cho việc là nấu ăn nấu uống và cũng như là các chi phí về ăn uống khác. Ngoài ra thì ở Nottingham cũng có rất là nhiều chợ dành cho châu Á, ví dụ như là chợ Việt, Oriental, Mart of Asiana, nên các bạn hoàn toàn có thể là kiếm được các nguyên liệu để mà chế biến những cái món ăn mà giống như ngày thường mình ăn ở Việt Nam vậy đó. Ngoài ra thì mặc dù là cuộc sống sinh viên thì phải tự làm hết tất cả mọi thứ nấu ăn, nhưng mà đôi lúc thì mình cũng sẽ rất là thèm những cái món ăn ví dụ như về phở hoặc là bánh mì hoặc cà phê. Thì ở Nottingham có rất là nhiều có một vài cái địa điểm mà các bạn có thể là tìm đến, ví dụ như là Coco Town Cà phê hoặc là Bún Mì Cà phê, thậm chí là có một trung tâm về trao đổi văn hóa giữa Việt Nam và UK là Vietcentric, thì các bạn hoàn toàn có thể tìm thấy những cái món ăn thân thuộc của mình ở tại đây. Và một điều chắc chắn đó là khi mà các bạn sống tại Nottingham thì các bạn sẽ trở nên rất là yêu thích thành phố này, bởi vì thành phố thì có rất là nhiều cái khuôn viên rộng rãi và có rất là nhiều địa điểm từ văn hóa lịch sử để mà các bạn khám phá. Thì đây là một vài hình ảnh mà chị đã chụp hình lại trong suốt quá trình học tại đây. Thì hy vọng là các bạn cũng sẽ có những cái nhiều trải nghiệm mà thú vị như chị trong cái thời gian học tại Nottingham. Và hẹn gặp sớm các bạn tại Nottingham. Lời cuối thì chị cũng xin là gửi lời chào từ NTU cũng như là NTVS. NTVS là một cái cộng đồng sinh viên là Nottingham Trent Vietnamese Student. Thì các bạn sẽ thấy là bên tay phải chị có để cái logo của Nottingham của NTVS, thì các bạn có thể là tìm trên Facebook và Instagram để mà kết nối với tụi chị. Và nếu mà có bất cứ những câu hỏi gì liên quan đến cuộc sống sinh viên thì các bạn hoàn toàn có thể liên hệ với chị thông qua hai kênh này. Thì đến đây cũng là kết thúc cái phần present của chị rồi, thì chị sẽ nhường lời lại cho các anh chị ở bên VNUK. So, hi everyone. I think this is the end of my presentation. So, I think that we can move on to the Q&A section, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, Chi. It looks like you had a very colorful life and experience at NTU.
Yes, just like I can talk non-stop about my experience in Nottingham, but I have to just like to limit my time. So everyone, if you want to hear more about my questions, about my story, please just asking and I try to answer all the queries.
Okay, one of the questions from Alicia in the chat was about the dissertation. Sam and Amy, do you want to talk about how the dissertation runs either in the UK or in Vietnam?
Sure. So the dissertation is connected to our research methods module. So during research methods, you'll write a research proposal and then conduct a pilot study. And a lot of that might be done in the UK, but then after the research methods module, you have the option of completing the dissertation in the UK or in Vietnam. In terms of a supervisor, you'd be supervised by both an academic from NTU and from VNUK. So you have dual supervision, which is, I think, a real benefit of this system. Amy, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yes, so you will be very well supported by the supervisors from VNUK and also from NTU. And you do have an option of choosing to whether you want to stay in the UK or whether you want to go back to Vietnam to do your dissertation. So shall we move on to the next question? I think someone asked a question to Luna.
You're very welcome, Alicia. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the question about the people in Nottingham. I was like you at the beginning of the year, to be honest. When I came here, I had the fear that I might not blend in and I might feel lost in the classroom with international students and people coming from different places of the world. But then when I went to the class, it was exactly opposite, because I was a kind of, I would say, introvert person. And I would not start to go and talk to people around me. But then my friends started to talk to me, and they start to talk to me and discuss with me about a lot of things. And I have native friends coming from England who help me with the English culture, which I think is also a great importance. I also have a close friend, Tibian, where we do everything together. And I have never ever thought that I would have a close friend with someone that is not from Vietnam, because you don't have the same language, you don't have the same culture, but it just happens naturally. We play, we study, we travel, we explore everything together. And I learn a lot about her culture, the same as she learned a lot about mine. But the people in the city, I would say that they are pretty friendly with international students. I'll share with you a story when I first came here. So I was in a cab from the train station back to my place on the first day here, and he was like, the driver was just talking with me, and I was like, this is my first time in the UK. I was asking about the city and stuff like that, and he was like, oh, are you an international student? I'll give discount for you. It's not that much, but I feel like I was welcome here, and it's just feel really happy. I would just feel really happy for that. So I would say you should not worry much for blending. It might be a little bit difficult at the first place, but then eventually you will start to feel like you belong to that place, because everybody is just really friendly. And also we have a Vietnamese community here. So you know Vietnamese students, not only on the same course, but also in the same university, living in Nottingham in general. We make a great friends, so don't worry about that.
Thank you for your response, Luna. If you have any questions, please continue to share your input on our chat box. In the meantime, we already received some questions from the participants prior to the webinar today. So why don't we go through the questions one by one? The first one that I have is how to maximize the learning from this MA TESOL program. Amy, can you help answer this question, please?
Yes, thank you, Cole. I think this is a great question, and it shows that the person who asked this question is a good learner already. You start to think of how can you maximize and use this opportunity for learning. One suggestion is that I have is to work really hard, because the moment when you start to work really hard is the moment when you start to learn a lot. So we don't just have the lecture input, we encourage our students to do a lot of independent reading, to explore the world as well. So academically, independent reading and research is also a very important part of the MA course. Outside the MA TESOL course, I know that a lot of our students actually stayed in the library. They form a club in the library. Probably that rings the bell with Luna. Luna used to spend a lot of time in the library with TUYòng N, and then they wrote a diary about how they actually study, how they feel every day. So independent learning is as important as attending the lecture. Also the discussion. Please do not feel shy to join any of the discussion with the students outside the classroom. I know that our students also have their either WhatsApp group or Facebook book group to actually support each other. And that's also really great learning opportunities too.
Absolutely. Can I just add something there, Amy? I think you're absolutely right in saying that working hard, reading as much as possible, and forming a community and being autonomous are really important principles that are going to help our learners maximise the amount they take away from the programme. But in addition, I think they also need that I would encourage our learners to be very critical of everything they read and everything that we do in class. And that doesn't mean disagreeing with the principles or the theories or the ideas that we're discussing, but it means constantly thinking, so what? So if we're discussing a theory, for example, in class, we would like you to consider how you apply that theory to your context, how you would apply that idea to your environment. Yeah, and that means, like, what does this principle mean for you? So answering that kind of so what question, I think, is one way that learners can really personalize and therefore maximize the amount they take away from the class.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Sam. And one of the important skills that we want students to learn is that sort of critical and analytical skill, to be able to analyze and question and also personalize, putting the knowledge in the context and practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Sam. We have around like 10 more minutes, so we'll move a little bit quicker. So the next question, I think, is a very important question. If the pandemic continues or reoccurs, how do I ensure health in this case? Andrew, can you help answer this question, please?
Yeah, sure, as best I can. Obviously, things are very uncertain at the moment in terms of the pandemic. We're in lockdown, as I believe you are also in Vietnam, and as the epidemic matures and policies change, we will adapt our behaviour as a university to match that. What we're hoping for at the moment is that we will have students physically on campus in September. We don't know whether that will be possible. If it's not, then we are scenario planning to make allowances for that. And we're certainly hoping by January that we'll have students back on campus. Of course, the health of our students and our staff is paramount. So whatever procedures we need to put in place to make sure that happens, we will do. And the university is working incredibly hard to meet all the demands of this epidemic. If you want up-to-date information about how we're dealing with the epidemic as it develops, obviously once you're an applicant, once you have applied to this program, we will give you applicant information, which is all the most up-to-date and relevant information as an applicant. And also on our website, you'll see, if you go to our homepage, you'll see updates about the coronavirus issue and how we're dealing with it. So this is a developing situation that everybody has to learn as we're going along, but we are doing our best to make sure that we can have students back on campus as soon as possible in the healthiest way possible.
Okay, thank you. Amy, like in your presentation, you mentioned like a PhD track, and right now I got a questions about the job opportunities that are available after graduation. So can you share with us a little bit more about like the job or the track after graduation?
Thank you, Cole. In terms of the job, our students seem not struggling with jobs at all. They have great job opportunities. Some of them became really good friends, and they decided to establish language schools in their home country or in other countries. So they run their own language schools. Some of them became language teachers, and some of them went back to their home country and became university lecturers. So it seems that our students are well equipped to really find the jobs either in the UK or going back to their home country. Yeah, so they can either be English language teachers, or they run language schools, or some of them became university lecturers.
Just to share with you that like VNUK is on the growth, and we are expect to welcome some more English lecturers in the years to come. So
when you finish this program, please welcome to join us.
Oh, thank you.
I think this question is for Luna, Yoon, Jess, or Jimmy. Any part-time jobs available during my stay in England? So if you have any more information to share, please. Luna, do you have a part-time job while you were in the UK in Nottingham?
Yeah, thank yeah, I did have. I didn't have until the second half of the semester, because of the first part I was just focusing mainly on my study. I worked as a shop assistant in a Vietnamese supermarket in Nottingham. It was just work for like a few days a week to get some extra money for my living, and I don't think it affect a lot with my study. And there are some other jobs that Vietnamese students also apply for, like waiter. I think most of them will go for that. I think, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to say, we have a, as I talked about employability earlier and getting our students and our graduates jobs, we have a huge department, which is the employability department. It has 140 members of staff whose job it is to find our students and our graduates placements and jobs. And we have something called the job shop as well as part of this employability service. And they can help you to plan your future, but they can also help you to find part-time work in Nottingham. So I've put a link onto the chat. If you want to click on that, you'll see it talks about life outside lectures regarding employability.
I guess we already covered the questions about the scholarships. Question number 6 is about the difference between this program and the master's program provided by Da Nang University. I did some research this morning, and I found out that like there are 2 master programs, MA TESOL master programs at Da Nang University. One is the full-time program in Vietnam, and another one they got a partnership with Huddersfield. I'm not so sure. Like I don't know like who was the one who got this question, but I think like throughout the webinar today, you already had some more information about the program. This program compared to other like George program in Da Nang City, we have more like the tuition is really affordable, and the students also have a chance to have like international experience. And as you can see, like you have a chance to work with like the very cool, amazing, highly qualified teachers who are really cared about the students. And like as Luna also shared, you know, this program is like offers a practical focus. So you know, a lot of like advantages from this program. So I think if you need more information, please email me. You know my contact. Please email me, and then we can discuss more. The next question is this degree officially accredited in Vietnam? I think this program is not just like accredited in Vietnam. This is a blog, the diploma from NTU, one of the top university in the UK, with a ranking of like 12 in the UK. I'm sure that this degree is highly accepted, recognized globally. It's not just in Vietnam. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, your answer is perfect. This degree is internationally recognized, and our students had the opportunity to work in other countries globally as well. Yeah.
I just have one more thing to mention, which is around English language. I think people are struggling to take certain English language tests at the moment because the test centres are closed because of the pandemic. So if you can't take a test at the moment, we are working very hard to offer online testing, and that will be advertised very soon, the tests that we accept. We already accept the TOEFL IBT test, if you would like to take that one. But we're also looking at another test, which we're going to advertise hopefully within a week or 2 to all of our applicants, and we'll send those details over to VNUK as well to pass on to you. regarding an online test that you can take at home that we will recognise.
Okay, I think that's the end for the section today. Very productive. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, and to you for your wonderful participation today. For the participants, if you have any other questions in the future, please feel free to contact me or inbox us on our fan page. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your participation today, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in Nottingham.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Good job. We don't,
Meeting here.